Welcome back to everybody that's been watching. If you're new, hello, hi, I'm Kaya. Uh, this is episode 3, and as you can see, we're in the new space. Shout out to Justice Studios for that. Today is quite momentous for me personally because it's the first time that I'm interviewing a guest. This is my boy Les. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself to the people. Say what's up, say hi, what's going on.
I appreciate that, Kaya. Thank you for having me. I've been keeping up with the pod, and I'm honored to be the first guest, bro. Genuinely.
Thanks. Man.
My name is Lesedi Andile, guys. If you don't know who I am, founder of Extremely Athletic. Happy birthday to Extremely Athletic. We celebrated 1 year in the month of August.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And yeah, I'm a self-employed, ambitious, goal-driven individual, and we're gonna dive deeper into that,
of course, man,
as the podcast goes along. But thank you again for having me, and I'm just happy to be here, man. Blessed and highly favored.
Of course,
carrying a bit of an injury, but. Yeah, I just thought everybody should know that because they're going to be like, why weren't you at gymnast then? Nah, I've got a little niggle, So
yeah, I feel.
Yeah, man. I feel. I'm glad to be here, sir.
Yeah. So, typically, because this podcast isn't big, I've been like here and there. This is only the 3rd episode, but the first 2 were sort of just to introduce myself to the people.
Yeah.
Like how I talk, what I talk about, how I think.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to sort of like shift into the actual content now, what I wanted to tap into. Because, the name of the show is called Growing Pains, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, it can be applied in pretty much anything, really.
100%.
If you're in school, like your studies, if you're in work, if you've got dreams of becoming someone famous, if you're battling through something, then everything requires you to go through some sort of pain in order to grow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was the main reason why I'm doing this. And then when I was looking for a guest, I was obviously speaking to some people because we have mutual friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, no, get this man on the pod as soon as you can. And trust me, you won't regret it. So thank you for being here.
Shout out, man.
So in the spirit of celebrating Extremely Athletic turning 1 year old, I just wanted to ask with the first question, how did the journey of Extremely Athletic begin?
How did it begin? Like we're gonna date it all the way back to when I was 4, 5, 6 years old. There's a picture of me on my dad's kitchen counter with a soccer ball in my hand without a shirt on, with like the most massive smile on my face. And then I go into, my primary school and I'm like in the athletics team, the soccer team, basketball team. I'm always just an active kid. I get to the end of my primary school career and my brother, who is a very integral part in me, but also an extremely athletic, he left me really inspired, man. He was a provincial rugby player at the time. He was like, dude, if you want to get anywhere in terms of like being a pro athlete, because that was initially my goal, to be a professional athlete. And he was like, start doing your push-ups, your sit-ups, your squats now. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Whatever. Yeah, cool. Yeah. And then I get to high school and within 3 weeks of me being in high school, I'm already in the gym, going against what my mom had already wanted me to do. So, it was inbred in me to be like, I want just to be the best physically that I can be, And, I left school, like obviously gymming all throughout high school. So now you can imagine end of grade 5, 6, 7, I'm already doing my push-ups, get into the ages of 14, 15. I'm still doing push-ups, but now I'm lifting weights too.
Oh, snap. And,
it catches people by surprise when I tell people I've been training for like close to 10 years now. And where Extremely Athletic actually starts is the end of 2023, August 2023.
All right.
I completed my degree at the University of Pretoria. And I was at home, that period between you getting your certificate and looking for a job was very difficult for me at the time.
Yeah.
And the area that I lived in, we had like power outages for like days on end, and it was just like if it wasn't power outages, it was water outages, you know? So it's like
Yeah.
you feeling very uncomfortable in your own space. And for me, it was like, I actually just, I want to be free, you know? I want to start something where I'll dictate how much I get paid,
Yeah.
you know? Because I did have a job at the time, but it wasn't paying very well. So I was like, if I can start something where the amount of effort that I put in will dictate the output,
Yeah.
that will be the key to be like, okay, cool, you know, like this guy's really pushing something, and then we'll reap the benefits at a later stage.
Yeah.
And so obviously 1 year down the line, you know, like Extremely Athletic is everything I had imagined it to be in 1 year.
Okay.
We've got merchandise, we've got training plans, we're running gym buddy programs. So if you're somebody that, you know, you're pretty anxious when you get into the gym, you don't know what to do, you don't know how to use the machines, you know, you can contact me and we can go to gym together and I can walk you through how to do all of these stuff and you learn from that.
Yeah.
And Extremely Athletic is not just about the physical, it's about the mental too.
Mhm.
You know, the fitness is not just, you know, you look good, you know, your body aesthetically looks good. Your mind has to be good too, you know what I'm saying?
I get you.
And that's pretty much the whole motion behind it. The motive too is that we're not just practicing physical fitness, but mental fitness.
Yeah.
And this year, I've also in the last year, I've gotten very close to God, who's obviously the source of everything that I am.
Mm.
And my spiritual fitness is there too. So
Right.
I just wanted to align that with everything that I have. But Extremely Athletic, being an extreme athlete goes way past this last year that I've just had. It's
Yeah.
years, almost a decade or two, close to two, of me just continuing to level up in terms of my athletic performances. You know, I always
Yeah.
wanted to be the best in school, but I never really was. I never had the discipline. And now that I do,
Yeah.
you know, I use the platform that I have to inspire and uplift others.
That sounds like, those speeches that those super big famous people get, and like, yo, oh, so this is the story behind the man, the myth, the legend. I I like that. That's saucy.
Shout out, bro. Damn,
Alright.
damn.
Well, you said something about you getting closer to God
Yeah,
and your desire to build your spiritual fitness, as you
yeah.
said. What made you, like, was there an event that made you think this is the time to get closer? Or was it just like, how did that come about?
So I always grew up in the church, you know,
Mm.
but I was never really close to God. So you always have that relationship, you always have that transactional relationship. Well, for me, when I grew up, it was, oh God, if I behave, can I get like a PlayStation 4? You know, that
Oh,
kind of thing.
okay,
You know,
okay,
if
okay, okay, okay.
if I pray every night, can I do well in my game tomorrow? You know, so it wasn't always like a relationship.
All right.
And it was actually in February this year, I came across an old friend. She's actually someone that I'm doing my own podcast with.
All right.
We've started our own online ministry. You should check it out. It's called The Greatest Love,
Yeah.
showcasing that the greatest love of all is the love of Christ. Because a friend that lays down his life for you, that is a symbol of the greatest love. And it wasn't until February this year where I decided, you know what, I can't just speak to God on a transactional basis.
All right.
I need to know him. I need to know how he works. I need to know when he's angry, what happens. When things are great, what happens. When I truly understand the word of God, that's when I'll be able to just live life freely. And I think that's what's happened in the last year.
Yeah.
I can be so honest with you right now. A part of me was going down a very dark and dangerous, you know, hole. Like I went down a time where all I did was party. I was at every festival.
Mhm.
I was at every club night. I never promoted any of these things, but I was always just there.
Yeah.
And it was when I took a step back from that scene to be like, hey man, like these people don't actually care about me, one.
Mm.
And the only person that's always going to care about you is God, no matter what you do. And I had an encounter with God in the club the one night, and believe me, that sounds bizarre, right?
Mm.
You can say that this encounter was one that convicted me of how I was feeling. I was maybe a bit too turned, a bit too lit. And, my good friend Muzi, he passed late 2020. He said you should be able to communicate with God in whatever state you're in, whether you're drunk, whether you're high, whether you whatever state you're in, you should always be able to seek the one that gave you the opportunity to be here. And it was that moment where I was like, damn, like, God, I'm too out of control. Like, I don't have control of what's going on right now. And my heart just started racing. And I knew in that moment that this is not where I'm supposed to be right now. This is not the path that God wants for me. And in that moment, I repented and I said, God, this is not going to happen again. This is not the me that you want to see. This is not who I'm destined to be.
Yeah.
And the minute I stepped away from the partying, the unnecessary socializing, because people don't see me now, bro. I'm either at church, I'm either at football, I'm either at work, or I'm in the gym. You know what I mean? If you can't get a hold of me, I'm in one of those 4 places. And it started with getting closer to God, because now I'm aligning myself with the purpose that He has for me. And Extremely Athletic is a major part of that, because even when I was in that dark hole or going to that dangerous place, I always went to gym. Whether I was hungover, whether I was, still high or from weed or whatever, I always went to gym. That was a very integral part of who I was.
So like a balance.
Yeah, literally. And that's what I used gym for, as an excuse to be like, oh, but I'm still going to gym. I can do this.
Yeah.
And then I got closer to God and He was like, nah, boy, you gotta live, eat, and breathe the word. You can have whatever you ask. I actually mentioned this in one of my episodes this week, John 15, chapter 7. It says, if you abide in God and His word abide in you, ask whatever you wish and you will receive. And since I've given all of my life to God, when I say the music that I listen to, I don't listen to like mainstream culture music, your Future, your Drake, your Kendrick Lamar. I don't listen to, those artists anymore. The podcasts I watch, every now and then I'll watch maybe like a Beta Squad video, just because like those are like funny guys, and each of them in their own rights have their own relationship with their own God, so it's like I can resemble something from that. And yeah, man, like the music I listen to, the people I'm with, like a lot of people that were my friends, I mean, we're acquaintances now because our values don't align. The Bible says don't be unequally yoked. Because if you're spending too much time with someone that's pulling you away from your purpose, what are you gaining? And yeah, that walk with God has just been, or this walk that I'm currently in now, man, I'm grateful that it's happened when it has, because everything is aligning with the way that my purpose is set out to be. It's not to say that it's easy.
No.
And please don't think that this walk is easy. You go through challenges, you face difficulties, but one thing I can say is that it's worth it. 100%.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess when people might try and give you criticism, like, you don't listen to our music or whatever, you can show it to your friends and you can say, well, they're not like us.
That's that, bro.
Try to be slick.
Fair enough. Like actually, I listened to each of the songs that came out in that diss track period. I listened to them once and I was like, cool, at least I know what's going on. But
but I'm not typing into this again.
Oh, nah, bro. I only ever heard that song when I was out, with, say, at like karaoke night, bro. It's on the karaoke list, imagine, of the place that I was at. And I was like, dude, this song came out like weeks ago. It's not on here. So yeah, man, when it was out, I heard it, but I never really listened to it.
Yeah, you don't need to dig into that stuff if it doesn't feed into what you're pursuing.
Not at all, bro.
Which is a big thing. And I think a lot of people, especially when it comes to the aspect of faith and religion.
Yeah.
And I'd say maybe Christianity more specifically.
Yeah.
Because it's not like if you're a Muslim, because typically being a Muslim is like a religion and a culture at the same time.
100%. Yeah.
So like it's not that it's easier to like fit into, but like you're surrounded by it all the time.
100%.
When you're like someone of Christ-like faith, I guess it's a bit different because it's not like you dress a certain way. It's not like you talk a
Yeah.
certain way. I mean, you can find the most Rastafari looking person out there and they'll be preaching the word of God to you.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's true.
And I mean, trying to find that consistency with having faith and then I guess also trying to live in the world that we live in is where
Oof.
people find trouble.
Oof.
Because it's like, I don't want to sacrifice my relationship with so and so, or I don't want to stop doing this or that thing.
Yeah.
But I know in the back of my mind that if I continue, I know.
It's raps, dude.
Like you know already. So you sort of have to sort of become ignorant to your own ignorance. You feel me?
Oof.
So it's like,
oof, that's powerful, fam.
I can be deep sometimes. I try,
man.
Yeah.
And that's real, bro.
Yeah.
Like we can be ignorant to our own ignorance in so many ways, bro.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I know that this is bad for me, but I'm gonna pretend that it's not.
Yeah.
Or I know that being around this person doesn't feed my soul, but I really care about this person so much, so I'm just gonna put up with it.
Yeah. And like, well, now that we're talking about that, that's tapping into something I wanted to journey into, like sacrifice. You've already talked about what you've had to
Yeah.
let go of and, you know, your relationships, old habits like partying and whatnot,
Yeah.
unnecessary socializing and stuff like that. But what's the one sacrifice that you made that you found the most difficulty with?
Oof. The one sacrifice that I found most difficult. In terms of like substances or like
I mean,
just in
you can
general.
make it whatever you want.
Oof. Friends, man. Sacrificing friendships that didn't serve me. That was one of the most difficult things because obviously, like, I still had a lot of friends from high school.
Yeah.
And like, man, in high school we were like tight. We were boys. Like every break we were together. You know, we were always like at those parties together. And sometimes even when those gents didn't go out and party, like I still went out, but like it's been tough, man. Like I'll be very honest with you. Like I'll even go as far as saying I probably have like 5 friends that I can count on my one hand. And even then, like I only see like 3 of them on a regular basis, you know? So it's like sacrificing friendships that that don't feed my spirit, man. And it's tough, bro, because you know, like some of your friends will be celebrating birthdays and they'll be like, yo, come through to this bar, we're gonna be playing pool and I'm like, oh, people are gonna be drinking, you know, people are gonna be smoking. You know, like the conversations that are gonna be had are not really fruitful. So I'd rather just stay home. But in that time of me staying home, I'm gaining so much power within myself where I'm like, I can journal, I can read a book, I can read my Bible, I can, you know, watch a podcast. I'm still gaining from that. But it's obviously been in its own right a very challenging, you know, experience. And one that people are gonna be very surprised. I'll give you 2.
Sure.
Smoking weed, bro. That's something that I only started smoking like properly, like consistently after high school. I was always too scared to do it in school.
Yeah.
And I found so much comfort in it, you know, like it allowed me to be comfortable in my own space because I would often smoke and I would just want to be at home and I just want to like chill. Like if I meditate, if I go to gym, I can go to gym. But it was like, I'm going to sacrifice this substance that takes me out of my right mind
Yeah.
and substitute it with God. And that's been really difficult, man. And the friend I was telling you about that had a huge impact on me. For Lent, I actually fasted weed. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna smoke weed for 40 days because that's how much I actually enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people can relate to this, bro, because I know a lot of people that smoke like regularly. And it's not to say that it's a bad thing, but it's just like, you know, it's a regular thing that once you stop it, you actually realize how much power you have. You actually realize how much more time you have.
Mm.
And I'll never forget what my one friend said. She said, "When God breaks a chain, don't try and mend it back together." So now the chain has been broken,
Mm.
and I can be around people that smoke all the time.
It
If
doesn't
I'm if
affect
yeah, not at all, bro. I can be at a soccer match, like playing football, five-a-side, whatever,
you. Mm.
and like there'll be a J going around, and I'll just
They be smoking at fives?
yeah, bro, like in the corners, like on the sides there, like. But I'm not really not into that anymore, man.
Yeah.
I've sacrificed drinking alcohol. It's almost 100 days, no, almost nine. No, it's 9 months on the 22nd of August. Why did I say 100 days? I was thinking way back then, but it's yeah. I stopped on the
Damn.
22nd of November, 2023. Celebrated 9 months just a couple days ago.
Damn, bro.
Like not a drop, my brother. Not a single. Hey yo, can I?
Congratulations. I mean, I'm thinking about it now, because I've got friends and they're working and stuff. And
Yeah.
on the Fridays, like, yo, I've got a break. And they'd be like, yo, gents, let's meet up somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, yo, dog, I just need a cold one. I just need a bev, bro. It's like one bev, but it's never one bev. It starts as one bev, and then and you'll meet up at like 6, 7. It's just one bev. All of a sudden, it's 10:30. There's a
Ooh.
bucket there.
And it's second location chats.
China, there's everything. Now there's music, and it's dark in there, but the lights are pumping. You're like, dude, how the hell did I even get you?
Oh man.
Then you wake up the next morning, you're like,
you look at your bank balance.
you're like, why did I do this?
Brother, let me tell you something. That hurt me
Yeah.
in Pretoria, man. Like it was always just, oh, let's go and grab one drink, just one. And one turned to three, three turned to 8, and then it's like, how did I get home? Then you open your phone and you're like, yo, you look at all these notifications. And you're like,
Ding, ding, ding.
you know what I mean, bro? So there was a lot that led to me sacrificing. It wasn't just like I dropped it like a hot potato. It was just like gradually I was like, nah, this is not what I want for myself. And it's such a common thing, bro. Gents after work, they're like, oof, let's grab a cold one, or there'll be Premier League happening. It's like, oof, let's watch the game together.
Exactly.
Like I'm more than happy to watch the game at home on my ones.
Yeah.
Just chill.
I mean, snap, tomorrow, Springboks are playing against the All Blacks.
And there's another reason to go and drink, bro.
It's like, yo, guys, let's go. Everyone's gonna put on this. It's like you're putting on the uniform to go get drunk. You know what I'm saying? They put on the jersey. They're like, yeah, nah, let's go. And I mean, I've got sometimes when I go watch rugby, I get my traditional headgear on. I get my mkhwele. I'm like, nah, dogs, put it on. Let's go.
Inside.
But then when I'm there, a lot of people, I mean, they only watch when a try is scored. And
otherwise,
then, apart from that, they're just talking to each other and they're drinking. I'm like, oh, but guys, don't we hear that? I'm like, guys, look, there's a knock on. I'm like, oh, okay, no, you know what? It doesn't even matter.
Bro.
So it's one of the things, like, because it's almost like you're not even enjoying the reason why you're there. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you've said so much with just those words in there. You're putting on the uniform to go out and drink, bro. Like I'm surrounded by so many folks where it's like, hey, dude, like there's an event happening. It doesn't even have to be the box playing. It could be like there's a birthday party, and now it's like we are getting blackout drunk, and I'm just like, nah, guys, I can't do that to myself. I can't put myself in a position where I'm out of control. Like if I don't have control over my body, I feel anxious, bro. I feel like something's wrong.
Awesome.
But yeah, man, what you've just said there is so profound, dude. So profound.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why I wanted to do this whole podcasting thing in general. It's like there are a lot of things that we think about, a lot of things that concern us. And for the most part, we'll talk about it with our friends, but we'll talk about it with our friends in a social setting, knowing that it's not going to go anywhere. It's like, I just need to get it out.
Yeah.
But it's like, now, at least that I have something that people can access. Like, even if it's the same recurring feeling, you can just watch one part of this thing over and over again.
Literally.
You know,
And let the
because
message sink, man.
because sometimes a person needs to hear the truth a couple of times before it kicks in.
Facts.
So it's like, now let me let it ruminate. Now you're probably wondering why the hell I've got my pencil and I keep writing in my book. It's because I had questions, but I feel like you're answering like 3 in 1. So I'm just gonna close this damn thing.
Shout out.
And now have a real conversation because we're switching gears.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
real chats, man.
Now that obviously you've spoken about sacrifice and things like that, you know, the one thing, now this is now apart from your faith and whatever, this is now like you as a person.
Yeah.
Like obviously, you know, as you get on in age, there's certain things that people feel like they should have done by a certain age, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for some people, it's something random. They can be like, okay, I want to have at least have had sex or something like that. Or I want to get blackout drunk. Or I've always wanted to talk to this one girl or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, especially with things like relationships and marriage. Like that's a big one. It's like, yo, I want to get married by the time I'm 20, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, that 2 number, the number at the back there, that can tell you whether you've got time or you need to pump the brakes. When you're 21, you're like, nah, I'm chilling, bro. When you're 23, you're starting like, eesh, okay, maybe I need a
long-term relationship now.
Yeah. Like next year I'm turning 25.
Damn.
And I don't look it. I'm glad I don't.
Hey man, aging like wine, sir.
Yeah, man. Thank God and thank the fact that I'm black.
hey, bro. But say black don't crack or something like that.
But it's a scary thing for me because I'm like, I want to be 25 next year. Yeah. You know, obviously there's so many things I feel like I haven't done yet. And obviously you get nervous and think like, when is it gonna happen if it didn't happen now, right? But then, well, for me, I'm a romantic, dog.
I hear you, bro.
And you know, there's someone I'm speaking to now. Yeah. It's going okay. I'm not gonna say a name. I don't wanna do that.
Don't name and shame, brother.
Also, I don't trust brothers. As soon as I say the name, they're gonna go right into my following, type it in, and
IG search, and then it's late. Then it's over.
Bro. Yeah, but you know.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
You know who you are. Hi. She knows I'm recording today.
That's a shout out. Hey.
So like for me, like it's not even that I'm putting an expectation on it. It's just the fact that we are very much alike on the things that matter. Yeah. Like having different likes and stuff like that, or having different hobbies or whatever. That's not, I was looking at the core things that I want for a relationship that I want to build into whatever. And she resembles a lot of those things. Yeah. And I do the same for her. So I'm like, okay,
it works. Where this
goes. So now my question for you is, are you single and not looking? Are you talking to someone? Is there any motion in the ocean? I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I said we're gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna put this damn thing on the ground.
That's good, man. I'll be very honest. I'm also like a romantic guy. I think if I had it my way, I'd probably be married now. Yeah, 23.
In this country.
Yeah, man. I'm like a one-woman man, bro. Like if I'm about you, then I'm about you. You know what I mean? There is somebody that like we are speaking on and off, but it's like it's not like my world right now, and that's been something that I've had to come to terms with, because I always would put like a lady right at the top of my list. So if I was speaking to someone, I'd make sure that like I'm going to go and fetch her, I'm going to go buy her something to eat, I'm going to go and do this, I'm going to go and do that. When I haven't even like put petrol in my car or something, like just to use it as an example, you know?
Then when you're sitting on E, like, no, I know my car, I know how far I can get.
Yo, you know what I'm saying?
I know those ones,
Yeah, bro. So like there is a young lady that's got my attention. I will keep her anonymous as well. She knows I'm recording today too. But man, it's not for me right now. It's not my primary focus. It's not something that I'm like dead set on having. You know, like I'm also someone that I'm not fazed by sex. I'm not fazed by like lustful desires. So like if I don't have sex until I'm married, that's cool, bro. If I don't meet the girl of like the woman of my dreams, if it's not her, then the next girl that I have this strong feeling for, if it's not like right now, it's okay, bro. You know what I mean? I've got a greater purpose. So it's a difficult one to have.
Mm.
You know, I mean, a difficult pill to swallow when like, you know, you wanted something at a certain time, like you saying, you know, like you want, like you were like, by the time I'm 26, I want to be
Mm.
engaged, you know, and now
Yeah.
you're looking at yourself, you're 25, and you're like, damn, you know,
Yeah, dog.
and there's no rush, bro. And
Yeah.
like, one thing that I don't want anybody to take so seriously, bro, is that like, you one of one.
Mm.
Like, everybody is one of one. And what I mean by one of one is you know your value, you know your substance, bro. You know your what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
And we often find ourselves getting into like shallow relationships to like fill a void of loneliness. But when you're one of one, you don't even need like a partner. You don't need a relationship. You don't need somebody to make you happy because you make yourself happy.
Mm.
That's something that I had to also come to terms with, bro. Like I'm preaching this like I've been dealing with this for years. I've had to also come to terms with it and be like, dude,
Yeah.
listen, I'm worthy of love and affection. I'm a high value man. You know, I'm a serious gent, bro. You know, like if you come across me anywhere, you know, I could probably sell you a shoe right now that you probably didn't even want to buy in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm business orientated, you know, extremely athletic is arguably my number one priority.
Mm.
So to have a relationship right now, cool, it would work, but I'm never gonna go and be like, oof, by the time I'm 27,
Mm.
I need this.
Yeah.
I'm just taking it as it goes, you know, like day by day. I know that I'm one of one,
Mm.
you know, and if a lady does also see that value,
Yeah.
great. Like if this lady sees that value, great. We can hit it off, we can date. Marriage will come when it does, but like it's not a major thing for me.
Mm. Yeah, you know, and I guess a lot of people around our age, it's like, you know, when I speak to some people I know, I mean, I'm not going to talk about my friends, like my close guy friends,
Yeah.
because I mean, I'm not trying to expose like the stuff that they've told me. But
Yeah.
even with like random acquaintances, like someone that I'll see at the gym that trains there often,
Yeah.
you become friendly, you know, it's not that you're
Yeah.
best friends, whatever. And you know, because obviously the discussion around women eventually comes up.
It's always
Some
gonna
way,
come up.
somehow it's
With
gonna come
gents,
up,
it's
right?
always gonna come up, bro.
So the way I assess the kind of man that they are,
Yeah.
like one of the things that I do is I listen to how they talk about women, not just the women they
Yo,
want, but women in
in
general,
general, yeah.
right? Like I've made a concerted effort, you know, to be sure to check someone if he's gonna call a woman a bitch, right? Because like for me, I don't talk like that, but that's just because I've had a lot of women in my life that have been very impactful,
Yeah.
and those are the ones that will probably like make you mad the most and stuff. But
100%.
I would never think, you know, to ever call my mom a bitch ever.
Ever,
Like
bro.
even if I'm complaining to my brother, I'll never say
Yeah.
that. So like, you know, Jen's be like, yeah, nah, the shorty, I was with her, yeah, but you know, I'm not really feeling that because there's this other shorty that I'm talking to. I'm like, okay, so like, what's the dynamic here? Are you
Yeah.
guys just like exploring stuff? It's like, nah, she's into me, but like, I'm not really into her like that, so I'm talking to this other one. I'm like, dog,
Yo.
what's
But
up with that? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, why would you want to go out of your way to waste this person's time to get something from someone else? Because a lot of times what happens is a guy will talk to a lady,
Yeah.
figure out what he can get from her,
Yeah.
and the things that he's not going to get from her, he's going to go pursue another lady with the hopes that she can feed that thing, you know?
Yo,
So
bro.
now that was just me off ramping, but what I was trying to tap into is the, you know, being a man worthy of respect. And you said something about being a high value man. Now, in most podcast spaces, when you listen to like, you know, your Andrew Tates or whatever, they always say, I'm a high value man. I earn
Yeah.
X amount of money, have this amount of women that are at my beck and call doing whatever.
Mm.
I would assume that your definition of that is different.
Very.
How so?
With value, it comes to what do you bring to the table in any conversation? It can be with a chick, it can be with a guy.
All right.
If I can leave you with something to think about, have I not added value to your life? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Doesn't have to be monetary value. I mean, I've got money, but I'll never go out and be like, "Hey, Kaya, listen, bro. Here's 3K. Go treat yourself." That doesn't make me high value. What have you gained from that? You know what I see as value, a trait like leadership. You know, if you can gather a group of people and gear them to one goal, are you not someone of value? You know, I've tried to like change my whole way of thinking, even in the gym, bro. You know, like you were saying, you'll chat to guys and they'll be like referring to a lady as a bitch or something, and you're like, is that how you're gonna call your mom, or would you want someone to call your daughter that? You know, but it's also the way you speak. It's the tone in which you speak, because sure enough, bro, some people speak differently when they're around other people. You know, like, and I get that. You know, environment.
Yeah.
But do you treat everybody with the same level of respect? Like, I'm gonna treat the car guard at Sportsman's Warehouse with the same level of respect that I'm gonna treat you. And that's no disrespect to you. That's just to say that we're all on level playing fields here, bro. We're all human beings. You may have more money than him, but he may have a greater spirit. You know what I'm saying? And for me, with anybody that I meet, you get a base level of respect. When people say respect is earned, bro, I've just met you. How are you going to earn my respect?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You have a base level of respect. How are you doing, sir? Am I right? It's only once you've now said something that's going to take your value down where I'll look at you. And like you say, man, you assess people in the sense of how they speak, their language. If I can see that, okay, maybe you're still immature, you're still a kid, you think like a kid, you act like a kid, then obviously that, my apologies.
No, it's all good.
Then that respect drops a bit. And I wouldn't want, you know, somebody to disrespect me, because I'm somebody that holds everybody to a high standard. If you work with me, you will work at a high standard. And I feel like that's what makes me high value, is that I'm able to lead. I'm able to treat people with respect, whether you're a waiter, whether you're a car guard, whoever you are. I want to leave you with something to think about. One thing about me is I'm always going to attack your brain. I'm always going to ask you difficult questions. If you smoke cigarettes, I'm going to be like, so why do you smoke cigarettes? Like, how does it make you feel? Do you ever plan on stopping? And when you go to bed that night, you're going to be like, why do I actually smoke cigarettes? Have I not added value to your life? Have I not made you think about something that you've now normalized, you know? And yeah, man, what would you say makes a high value man?
Well, let me pull out the phone and see what I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. So for me, the conversation about what makes a man high value has obviously been distorted. Right? And I think the problem that we have as men, I mean, I could even say just as men in South Africa, is we look at, you know, your people like your Andrew Tates and your whatevers, and they're talking about the amount of money they have, their businesses, their ability to fight and mess somebody up, their ability to be able to pull in women without any effort. But that's a standard that's unrealistic, firstly. And there's a horrible standard, secondly, just as a man, because it cannot fulfill you.
100%.
Then you hear, they'll say things like, men are polygamous by nature, you know, because they end up using olden times where in old societies, one man would be able to have multiple women because he was the one that had the resources and all that stuff. But the world has developed. You cannot preach that to me, because what you're doing is you're trying to apply an archaic method of thinking nowadays, you see.
Which will never get you anywhere.
It cannot. And so for me, what I look for, or well, what I will say makes me a man, or what defines me as a man of, you see, because I don't even say I'm a man of high value, I say I'm a man of substance. Right?
That's great.
And a lot of what I learned, I got from my dad.
Okay.
Now, you know, and I mean, I'm Zulu, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, fathers can be very tough.
Stern,
right?
Yeah. Spaggle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But my pops, he he knew how to strike fear in me without ever having to strike me with his hands.
Yeah.
He's never hit me once in my whole life. And there have been moments now looking back where I'm like, yo, you're a strong man for not having hit me because what
Yeah.
I do was madness. And I think it was his ability to instill fear in me that made me more receptive to his instruction.
For sure.
Because there are certain things like, just how I deal with the lady. If I have a beef with one of my friends,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna wait and sit on it. Because the thing is, if you give someone a moment where they can disrespect you, what they're gonna do is they're gonna keep doing it as a test to see how far they can push
Oh
you.
yeah.
So my dad used to say, like, if they're starting these things, you tell them now. And then it's like, if it gets to a point where it comes to blows, this is where his advice, I thought it was a bit controversial. Like, no, let it come to blows and then let it be the end of it. So like sometimes I'll have discussions with my brothers
Yeah.
at home, and we'll be watching TV, maybe a reality show or something if my cousin's there,
Mm.
because my cousin says that she's a girl. And people get in each other's face. It's like, yeah, what you gonna do? What?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I always say, no, let them fight. No, my cousin was like, what? And I was like, what's up with you? I'm like, no, no, no. I'm not saying let them fight because I want them to fight. You see, if you're willing to fight, both of you are willing to fight at the
Yeah.
same level or whatever, it means that that thing that you're both feeling is that intense that it's brought you to blows.
Sure.
And those fights don't last long. It'll probably be like 2 seconds. Someone's going to hit someone once and they're going to
Mm-hmm.
stop. And then the conversation that you're going to have after that.
That's where the money spot is.
Now, the reason why I say let them fight is because it's typically with men.
Yeah.
Because men don't talk, men do, right?
Yeah.
Typically speaking.
Typically, yeah.
So I'll say, no, if you guys are going to come to blows, you'll hit each other, we'll stop you at some point, and then you're going to have to address whatever that issue is now. Because you've already done the worst thing you could possibly do to that person.
100 by literally physically laying your hands on
You
them.
understand? So the first thing you have to do is acknowledge the fact that you went so berserk that you got to fight them. That now this thing that you're feeling, you have to let it go.
Yeah.
And that's part of the thing that I was tapping into when we were discussing before we were recording. When I said I wanted to tap into male-centered psychology
Yeah.
for my profession. Obviously I have my own opinions on the way psychology has been, I won't say weaponized, but the modernization of psychology and the desire to get men to be as expressive as their female counterparts, I think is disingenuous. Because what you're doing is you're applying a standard that isn't set by men, that they then have
To conform.
You understand?
Yeah.
So when you're saying to men, why can't you be more vulnerable or express yourself? Or it's not that they can't. They are doing exactly what you're saying, but they're doing it. They're not saying.
Saying,
You understand?
yeah, yeah.
So like when men train and they're in the gym for like 3 hours a day
Yeah.
and they're there 7 days a week, they don't even take a day off to rest.
Hey, that was me at some point, bro.
You
Yeah.
got and what was happening in your life?
Man, I just got out of a relationship, bro.
You were
So,
feeling something, right?
yeah, you know?
So as opposed to dwelling and being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how I'm feeling, you're like, no, like let me go and do something with this thing that I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So
Doing.
I want to tap into trying to help men from that perspective. And I think in this country it's necessary because
is,
a lot of
bro.
what we do is we absorb a lot of culture and a lot of content from outside,
Yeah.
especially the US and Europe,
Yeah.
right? And I think that we need to bring things back and we must remember that we are South Africans before we're anything else, right?
Factual.
Like you can go and travel to whatever country you wish, but don't now come back with an American accent after your 2-week trip to Los Angeles.
Oh man, yeah.
Or like don't
yeah.
come back with a weird British accent because you were in London for a couple of days.
Now you're Amanda Minute.
All of a sudden, in it. What the hell is
Please,
in it,
Bella,
brother?
respect yourself, bro.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like, and I mean, that's a small jab, yeah, but it's speaking to the bigger thing.
Yeah.
In the pursuit of trying to get accustomed to the way the world works, we're losing like our own realities.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Zulu man. I'm proud of the fact that I'm Zulu. Obviously, growing up where I grew up, it was very diverse. Yes, mostly white, but very diverse.
Yeah.
But I never lost sight of the fact that I'm Zulu.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that I must stick to as a man, as someone that's going to become a Zulu man, and all those things. Because me, when I talk, I off ramp, and
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah. But it gets
I've
to the point eventually.
so the point is, I think being a man requires you to see what's going on
Yeah,
and then know who you are, know what makes you who you are, so
yeah.
that in situations where who you are doesn't really align, you don't have to then sacrifice pieces of yourself to then
T-
become something else.
Facts.
You feel?
I hear that. I
Yeah,
hear
that was a
that.
very long-winded
Way of saying
attempt
it.
at trying to get to what I'm saying, but
Yeah,
I feel like it's important that I say these things because I guess also I'm trying to, connect with the people,
yeah,
but also trying to tell them like personal things about myself
for
because I think
sure.
it's necessary.
Yeah, because
Uh,
people buy people, bro.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's yeah, people by people. It's that is a that's not just a South African virtue. I mean, I'd say it's an African virtue, but it's a virtue that I think a lot of people don't tap into anymore.
yeah,
Like when you see like one thing that always makes me yo the word is flippant. So that's like I'm peeved. I'm pissed
yeah,
off. When there'll be someone at the robots asking for spare change or trying to sell you something or just whatever.
yeah.
And then you see like as this person's walking, these people they just look forward and they close their window and they act like this person doesn't exist. There's one thing that grinds my gears. It's that because it's
That's a
not just
human being, bro.
it's like you can think whatever you want to think about that person.
Yeah,
You can think that they got themselves in the streets by doing God knows whatever, right? But I I don't think that you then have the right to judge them
yeah.
because it's not just the fact that you're denying their humanity.
Literally,
You are
bro.
actively denying it
Like,
because you see that this person's coming. It's like if I act as if he doesn't exist,
then
then he'll
he
leave me
won't see
alone.
you.
You understand? It's things like those that they really bring you down. And sometimes, I mean, whenever I've got spare change, I mean, I don't give them cents like brown coins. I don't do
Yeah.
that because I'm like, come on, what the
What
hell?
what can you do
What the,
with
what
it,
the hell
bro?
is 50 cents gonna do?
Yeah,
So like, if I have paper, I'm always gonna give them paper, even
one
if it's
hundred
$10,
percent,
$20,
bro.
whatever. Because I'm like, at least you can get something
Says a
of
lot about
value.
your character too,
Yeah,
bro.
because thanks. I just I can't see a human being in a dire position and me being able to do something, even minuscule, to alleviate them of the burden that comes with their circumstance.
Yeah,
If I can do something about it, I'll do it. And
100%,
I guess
bro.
that's pretty much what you do as well.
Bro, like when you said that, like when you pull up to a red light and
Mm,
guys are actually just asking for like even a banana, an archie
mm,
that's sitting on it's on your seat, bro. And you just you close your window and you just act like he's not there, bro.
mm,
Like that like you say, bro, it just grazes me because like, are you not human? Are you not in a position where you are able to give, you just choosing not to?
mm,
Like I'm somebody, like you say, bro, if I've got a note, if I've got 5 rand, if I've got 2 rand, even if it's 1 rand, bro.
mm,
Because most of the time they're like, yo, really shoe mira. I'm like, brother, I'm not next, dog. Like,
mm,
if I don't have, I can't give, but when I do have, I do. And oftentimes it's like we have this, I don't know, like we look down on people at the robot, bro. Like it's
mm,
like they chose to be there, bro. Like some people's circumstances don't allow them to be in those positions, bro.
mm,
And it's sad to see in the country that we live in, bro. And everything that we're doing starts with us.
mm,
And that's why like growing pains is something that I've invested my time into seeing how you are doing because you are looking after your people first before you're going abroad, before you're thinking of going to the US. And I'm somebody, yes, I do have plans to maybe go abroad and make uh, my brand grow and
mm.
diversified and,
Of course, yeah.
change the world. But I have to start in South Africa first. There's no use in me going to the UK thinking that I'm going to be an international sensation.
Mm,
They don't even know who I am. When here there's Ubuntu and, I am because we are.
mm,
You understand? That concept gets us much further than I'm here and you there. And yeah, man, that's pretty much all I have to share on that. But what you've said has left me thinking a bit. So that's good, bro. That's good.
Appreciate it, man. And you know, just speaking about the humility aspect, I mean, you've been through some things,
Yeah.
as you said, and it pushed you into trying your best to be the best version of yourself, or as good a version of yourself as you can be.
Yeah.
When someone slips, and they slip up and they have a moment where they fall back into a vice or that one bad habit, it's very difficult for them to sort of get back into it. Not necessarily because they're not able, but because of the shame that came with the fact that they managed to fall back. Now, we're not healers, we're not mental health
Yeah.
professionals. I'm not one yet. But if you were to be working with someone, like say it's someone that you're helping with a training plan, and like they decided that they're gonna stop maybe partying or whatever, or they're gonna
Yeah.
stop drinking or something, and then they come at you and they say, "Yo, man, I can't come to the gym today. I was out last night and like I got hammered."
Yeah.
How would you
How would I?
how would you act in that situation?
It's a very difficult question,
Mm,
but one thing is I'll also try and understand where that person is coming from.
mm,
Um, like I said, I have a certain standard for myself, but can't always expect people to live up to that standard that I set for them. And my biggest thing is yeah, it happened, but how are you gonna respond?
mm,
Yeah, you might not come to gym today, you're hungover, but are you going tomorrow?
mm,
Are you gonna sit and wallow in what you've done? That shame, that guilt, that condemnation, or are you gonna convict yourself and say, oof, yeah, you know what, I actually feel bad, I missed gym today, but I'll go tomorrow twice. Or I'll just
mm,
go tomorrow for one session. Like
mm,
it's not about what happens to you, it's what happens when it's done. Like what
yeah,
what is your reaction
yeah,
to what's happened? Are you
yeah,
gonna be going out to the next party 2 days later? Because if you are, then you and I can't work together because you clearly aren't serious about your goals.
mm,
If you're gonna come to me and say you want a training plan, you want a training partner, you need to show me how committed you are. Show me that you're willing to make those sacrifices. And even if you slip up, that's okay.
mm,
But how are you planning to bounce back? How are
mm,
you planning to take those steps forward?
mm,
Because I'm not perfect either, bro. There have been vices that I've slipped back into,
yeah,
and for me, I always think to myself, okay, why did I stop this thing? I stopped it because it's bad for my health. Okay, cool. Now, if I continue to do this thing, my health is going to deteriorate over time.
mm,
So I ask myself these questions, but I know not everybody thinks like I do. Like partying drains you
mm,
more than you can imagine, bro. Partying because you're surrounded by so many different energies at one time.
yeah,
And now it's like I've I've said to myself I'm gonna stop partying, but it's like an addictive feeling. You're like, oof, I like that. I want to keep going. I just want more of it.
mm,
But when you're able to like pull yourself out of it and look at where you stand, why did you go to that party when you knew that you had gym the next day with me? Oh, it was my friend's birthday. Fair enough. Did you have to drink excessively? Yeah, there were shots going around. Cool. Peer pressure is a very real thing and it's a serious, I would even say a pandemic in our society, bro. Like
mm,
your peers, they say you're the sum of the people you spend the most time with.
mm,
You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if your friends are always saying, Kai, listen, let's go get drunk, let's do this, you're going to end up drinking regularly. You know what I
mm,
mean? So I'm always someone that I want to dissect why you did it. If your
mm.
motives are reasonable, but if your response is even better, then we can work with that.
All right.
But I don't expect you to be perfect because I'm not.
Mm,
But attitude determines everything, also, bro. Like,
True.
You change your attitude, you change your altitude.
Haha.
You know what I mean?
Come on now.
Bro, like I put that on my wall when I was in this transition period of my life.
Yeah.
If I have a good attitude towards work, I had a good attitude towards work, I started working more. Had a good attitude towards gym, I saw better results. Like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't eat fast food, I don't, bro. Like the only like fast food I eat is Nando's, and that's like
That's
dry
like,
meat.
yeah. So it's like, not really.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
bro?
yeah.
It's like I've changed my attitude towards gym, so I've changed my altitude.
Mm.
My attitude towards food. Oof. If I'm gonna buy a packet of rice cakes, how long is it gonna last me? Because that's like my favorite snack. That's like my guilty pleasure. That's like someone going to the shop and buying a chocolate. That's me with rice cakes. So my attitude is good. Therefore, I can level up a bit. I can
Mm.
take another step to where I want to be.
Mm.
So if you to go back to your question, how would I react? If your reasoning is right and your attitude towards the bounce back is right, bro, we can keep doing it. You know,
Mm.
I'm a very understanding person. When we're literally not perfect, we weren't designed to be perfect. If we were perfect, everything in the world would work. You
True that.
know what I'm saying? But we're
Yeah.
not. So I'm gonna understand where you're coming from. But
Mm.
if it's a regular occurrence, I can't help you, bro.
I hear that. You know, I wish we could go on for hours, but we're getting close towards the end. So this is gonna be my experiment. So I'm gonna start with you because you're my first guest.
Yeah.
It's 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 something I've been thinking about trying to do.
Oh well.
Um, just as like to bring it all in, like to link
Yeah.
the start and the big, like the start and the end into like one compound. Like if you're to put the start and the end together, you can sort of like get an impression of what the whole episode is about.
Yeah.
So if I didn't know you and I asked you to define yourself to me
Okay.
in as intimate detail as possible, how would you do that?
I would say I'm a man of God, first and foremost. I love the gym. Like I love the gym. I love playing sports. I love being outdoors. So if you want to do sports with somebody, I'm your guy. If you got a five-a-side team, I'm your guy.
Mm.
Um, oof. I want to keep them nice and short. I don't want to ramble on. If you met me out, I would I'd probably speak to you about your vices. Why do you do the things you do? Who are you? I'm a very empathetic person, so I'd be like, who are you? That way you would remember who I am. But I don't do it for that reason.
Mm.
Um and man, just I'd inspire you, bro, to keep going. Because when you keep going, you keep growing. That's what extreme athletic is all about.
Mm.
When you keep going, trials will be there, the tribulations will follow. You know, it's gonna be brick wall after brick wall, but the triumph and the victory comes shortly after.
Mm.
And with growing pains, man, like in every fact of life, whatever you're going through, you're gonna experience growing pains.
Yeah.
But if you keep going, you grow through the pain. You know what I mean? So that's one very nice, neat way to wrap everything up,
Aye.
to tie it up in a little bow. But one message from me to anybody listening, watching, keep going, keep growing. You know what I mean?
Because with growth comes pain. And you can't have one without the other.
Facts. Facts.
All right, my brother. I appreciate this.
It's been a pleasure, bro.
I mean, this is a bang of an episode.
Man,
I mean, the value's there.
it's
If you want to find some jewels, you don't even have to dig. They're shining and they're staring right at you.
yeah, man.
So we're definitely gonna do this again
For sure.
when we're at a bigger level,
Yeah.
more people, more
Please.
life, more success, more whatever. You
Bro.
know. So this thank you for me personally,
Yeah.
because this was the first time that I got to actually apply some of the interview strategy that I've learned a bit,
Yeah.
so I was able to use it with someone who was really receptive to the questions.
Oh, well.
So yeah, man. That's all, everybody.
Yeah,
We'll be back soon. No worry. The
for
episode is
sure.
coming up. Thank you, brother.
For sure.
All right.
Thank you, guys.